Hello, I am David and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos on helping entrepreneurs to start their own business, to be successful, to have a lot of fun. And I'm going to keep this video as short as I can. Background to this video is I receive lots of visitors to my website from the United States of America and from the United Kingdom, all interested in starting their own business. So I've put together this series of videos to help them do that. Before I start this video, just to let you know that I am not a lawyer. I'm not a qualified lawyer. I do not give legal advice, therefore. If you want legal advice, and I strongly advise you to consult with a lawyer. The information that I have here is purely information. They're not advice that I'm giving you. Okay, that said, in this video I'm going to cover different types of companies, including their pros and cons, and in particular limited liability companies. The limited liability company, which is LLC for short, is the newest kid on the block of business organizations. It has become popular with many small business owners, in part because it was custom designed by state legislatures to overcome limitations of each of the other business forms, including the corporation. Essentially, the LLC is a business ownership structure that allows owners to pay business taxes on their individual income tax returns like partners, or for one person LLC like a sole proprietorship, but that also gives the owner the legal protection of personal liability for business debt and judgments as if they had formed a corporation. So an LLC provides both pass-through taxation of business profits like a partnership or sole proprietorship, and limited personal liability for business debts like a corporation. The IRS originally approved the concept of a limited liability company in 1988, and Georgia followed the rest of the nation in allowing them. An LLC is like a limited partnership without general partners. It has characteristics of both corporation and a partnership. None of the members have liability and all can have some control, and LLC may be exempt from Georgia corporate income tax. Now let's look more closely at the specific legal and tax characteristics that make up the LLC so attractive and set it apart from the other business ownership structures. As you'll see in Chapter 2, most of the LLC characteristics are shared by at least some of the other business structures. What makes LLC unique is that it's the only business entity with its particular mix of legal and tax attributes. Most importantly, limited personal liability for LLC owners. In other words, the same legal protection that owners of a corporation enjoy, and unless they elect otherwise, pass through taxation, again like sole proprietors or the owners of a partnership. Now the legislators who thought up the LLC business structure were smart enough to realize that there was no need to reinvent the wheel. All they had to do was combine the best legal and tax aspects of the corporation and the partnership. Now the advantages of limited liability companies. The limited liability company is an incredibly flexible ownership option. If there is only one member, it can be taxed on a Schedule C of your personal taxes. It can also elect to be taxed as a partnership or a corporation. It may have different classes of ownership, an unlimited number of members, and the members can be foreigners. Advantages continued. An LLC can be filed online. An LLC can be filed online in just a few minutes with the Georgia Secretary of State's office, and there is a link below, as you can see, for about $100 or $125 if you reserve the name. Now the fee could have changed by the time you view this video, so you need to check the website just to make sure of the fee. It's a form of business registration that allows the owners of a business to protect themselves from some of the liabilities of being in business, and at the same time receive some of the tax benefits of other more elaborate business registrations. like an incorporation or partnership. In order to register a business as an LLC or limited liability company, the business has to prepare articles of organization and file them with the state in which they wish to register their business. There are some fees applicable to registering a business as an LLC, similar to registering a corporation. An added benefit is that you don't necessarily need a lawyer to register a business as an LLC, as this is especially useful for small businesses where both time and cash is at a premium. Limited liability companies have flexibility when developing a management and ownership structure, and the reporting requirements are far less under this form of business registration compared to corporations. The tax benefit of an LLC business registration are mostly gained through what is called pass-through taxation. This means that the profits from the business are only taxed once, and owners do not have to pay both corporate and personal income tax on any monies earned through the business. The limited liability under an LLC makes a provision that limits the liability of owners and operators to the amount of money that they have invested in the firm. The limited liability on an LLC makes a provision that limits the liability of owners and operators to the amount of money that they have invested in the firm. Any debts or responsibilities above those amounts are the liability of the corporate entity and not the ownership group. It is much simpler to operate compared to formal forms of registration. There are minimal requirements for reporting to state and other regulatory bodies, and unless a company desires to have one, there is no requirement for a board of directors or an annual general meeting to approve management's handling of the business, although we recommend that you do so anyway. The disadvantage of a limited liability company: because they are so easy, they are very easy to abuse. It is pretty common for people to forget they are using an LLC and use their own checking account instead of company funds, to commingle assets and accounts, and to generally not treat it with any level of seriousness. There are some situations in which LLCs would pay Social Security tax on all profits up to a limit, whereas S corporation profits are exempt from Social Security tax. Now this is the end of this video. Now before I end here, I just want to stress, I am not giving you legal advice here. I'm only providing you with information. As I said at the beginning of this video, you need to sort out legal advice from a lawyer. Now this is the end of this video. In the next video, I'm going to cover limited liability partnership, corporation and S corporations.